Did you know that the book of Daniel repeatedly makes use of the prophet of Isaiah? Welcome to another appetizer from the book of Isaiah. I'm Dr. Paul Petersen, and the prophetic text I want to highlight for you today is found first in Daniel 9. In the last part of Daniel 9, verses 24 to 27, Gabriel, the angel, is sent by God to Daniel, and he delivers an oracle. In those words in this prophecy, he explains further the meaning of the long vision of the previous chapter, chapter 8, and he answers some of the questions that come up during Daniel's long prayer recorded in chapter 9, verse 4 to 19. What many people, however, rarely see is that especially in verses 26 and 27 in Daniel 9, Gabriel is reusing, quoting in a sense, Isaiah's prophecy about the Assyrian Empire that you find in Isaiah chapter 8 to 10. Let me read to you from Isaiah chapter 10, verse 22 and 23. Though your people, Israel, shall be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will return. Destruction is decreed, overflowing with righteousness. This is from English Standard Version. The Lord of God of hosts will make a full end as decreed. Now, this terminology in Hebrew is more or less exactly the same as you find in Daniel 9, when it is said that the end shall come with a flood, and to the end there shall be a war. Desolations are decreed. Destruction or desolation from shomem, that is the same terminology used. It emphasizes the fact that God is the one who is in charge of history. He makes things happen. But it emphasizes one thing more, that the pattern you find of apostasy leading to tribulation in the time of Isaiah through the Assyrian Empire, that pattern is the same you find here in Daniel. Sins have led to tribulation, but then there is a purification, there is a remnant that will survive, and there will be judgment and deliverance. There is, however, one detail that commentators often wonder about in Daniel 9. That is the fact that wings are introduced. In the closing verse of the oracle by Gabriel in verse 27, it is said, "And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolate." However, this combination of the imagery of the wings and the imagery of the flood of the water is exactly the combination you also find in the description of the Assyrian Empire in Isaiah, who in chapter 7 and 8 puts it this one way: "Behold, the Lord is springing up against them the waters of the river, that is the king of Assyria and all his glory. It will rise and go over its channels, over all its banks, sweep into Judah, and its outspread wings will fill the breadth of your land, O Emmanuel." So, for this appetizer, notice that the text of Isaiah is reused in the oracle of Gabriel in Daniel 9. And I hope this creates an interest for you to study further the book of Isaiah and follow along in the tidbits week by week, where I will move through the chapters one by one of the sections in sequence in the book of Isaiah. Thank you for listening. I'm Dr. Paul Petersen, and I hope to see you back.